What's going on? It's Fight Season MMA, and today I want to make a video talking about the rumors that have come out from Michael Chandler talking about this fight with Conor McGregor happening in December. And I'm just going to tell you guys, Conor McGregor is never returning to the UFC organization. If you've seen what he's kind of done outside the organization, in the BKFC world, in his partying world, and just in his home life, Conor McGregor is living up his life to the absolute fullest, and I think fighting for the UFC is on the absolute back of his mind. If you guys enjoy the UFC content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That is the best way to support the channel. Also, while you're down there, please turn on the post notifications. That will always lead you guys to updated and new MMA content releasing daily, just so you guys can stay within the MMA community, all notified and all kept up with all the latest news and information. But let's jump into why I believe that Conor McGregor is never going to come back to the UFC organization in the rest of his career. Okay, so Michael Chandler yet again has announced that, or he not announced, but teased a fight with Conor McGregor happening in December. And I just have to tell Michael Chandler, you got to pass this thing up. There is no way Conor McGregor is coming back to fight in the UFC anytime soon. If you've seen what this man has done at BKFC and at the other organizations and other party places around the world, you can just tell that Conor McGregor is living his best life and that he is in not his right shape. At this point, I'm believing that Conor McGregor broke his toe on purpose because he didn't want to get in there with Michael Chandler, because Michael Chandler is an absolute killer compared to Conor McGregor. He's an absolute monster. He's fought the likes of Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, and put up great fights with those individuals. But Conor McGregor just shaved his head. That really doesn't have anything to do, but he was just chugging a beer at the BKFC event, doing Conor McGregor-like things. Then Conor McGregor has been spotted out at lots of different clubs with different girls and different types of things like that, as well as Conor McGregor going out and spending time with his new son, his daughters, and everyone in his different family. Now, as we all know, Conor McGregor is one of the wealthiest people on planet Earth. You see all the videos of him driving his Lamborghini boat across the Mediterranean Sea or wherever he wants to do, off the coast of Ireland or wherever he may be. Him chugging different things of his forged Irish stout at that BKFC event. He's investing in different things. Conor McGregor also just got his driver's license suspended for 2 years in Ireland for reckless driving, which I thought was a very interesting cherry on top. And Conor McGregor is living his best life outside the UFC organization, but all of that does not aid to a UFC return. You look at all these fighters who are in the UFC, and I'm not just, stereotyping the UFC organization as this, but every other organization, you have fighters that are focused, you have fighters that want something. What does Conor McGregor want from the UFC? And that is a great question that you have to throw in there and ask. The only way that I could see Conor McGregor fight for the organization is that's how he came up, and he wants to repay the organization and give back to what he was given, or was given a platform to make fame on and grow his brand and game. Is the organization going to give him enough money? No. Is he going to gather more fame from the UFC? No. Is he going to, do some crazy thing within the fighting organization that's going to make him considered the greatest UFC fighter or fighter on planet Earth? No. So I just don't think that there's any avenue for Conor McGregor's career and Conor McGregor's legacy that truly leads him down a path in the UFC to truly make it the greatest thing that could really help him and really benefit him towards a return. Conor McGregor, in order to return to the UFC or to do anything at this point in his life, he's got to see some sort of benefit in it. Him investing in BKFC has to reap some benefit towards Conor McGregor, otherwise he's not going to do it. Conor McGregor is so wealthy that he doesn't have to do any sort of work for the rest of his life, and he will be more than fine off. He's got his stout business. He's got his Irish whiskey business. He's sponsored in the BKFC. He's a part owner in that, and he's got so many different companies that returning to the UFC to fight is really something that I just don't see happening in the near future for Conor McGregor. Now, his love for fighting truly might outweigh every little thing, and I could be completely wrong with this, but it just really baffles me of why Conor McGregor would even consider returning to the UFC when he has so much wealth and so much everything that he could ever want outside the organization, besides if he wanted to repay Dana White for helping him give a platform. But Michael Chandler's been out for the past 2 years, and I know that he is looking for this fight against Conor McGregor. He's called out Conor McGregor after that Tony Ferguson interview, in one of the best post-fight interviews we've ever said. Joe Rogan even said that that's his favorite post-fight interview he's ever done, was Michael Chandler calling out Conor McGregor. But like I've said, Conor is not returning. There's no way he's going to come back to the UFC. There's no way that anyone's going to want to, or he's going to risk himself going in there when he's got a family, when he's got all this other things, and he's not struggling to come up. John Jones, on the other hand, is a fighter who's been living off the UFC. He is incredibly famous, but his entire career has been based around the UFC organization, where Conor McGregor has a bunch of different businesses and a bunch of different things outside the organization that truly top and rule over his, his career compared to their UFC career. Dustin Poirier, for example, UFC fighter. He's been in the UFC for so long, and he has smaller businesses outside the UFC, but he gains all of his money from the organization. Not saying I shouldn't, not all of his money, but gains a majority of the money to where it still benefits him to fight, considering that he has that urge and will to go out there and fight. I know he's got that hot sauce brand. I know he's got a bunch of different stuff, but Dustin Poirier 100% has a benefit to reap when he goes in there and fights, and I just don't think it's there for Conor McGregor anymore. I understand with a win over Michael Chandler, he could challenge for either whatever belt he wants. Featherweight, light heavyweight, welterweight, lightweight, heavyweight, middleweight, flyweight if he even wanted to. Dana White will give him whatever he wants inside the UFC, and it wouldn't even matter for Conor McGregor, but I just don't see Conor McGregor wanting to put in the time and put in the training camp, considering that he's so out there currently when it comes to partying and when it comes to living Conor McGregor's best life, which I don't blame him for. He's had a very long UFC and prosperous career. He has fought some amazing fighters like Khabib Nurmagomedov, Dustin Poirier a couple of times, Max Holloway, Jose Aldo, Eddie Alvarez, and there's so many more fighters that Conor McGregor has fought to really cement and shape his legacy. But at this point in time, there is no fight in the UFC that is big enough for Conor McGregor to currently return unless Conor has the urge to fight. And the only way for him to fight is to return to the UFC because Conor McGregor is under contract. And that is it. There is no way for Conor to leave the organization. There's no way that Dana will let him go, considering the star that he is. So if that nagging urge really hits Conor McGregor, it is going to be to stay in the UFC organization and fight there. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fight Season MMA, and please let me know what you think about Conor McGregor, this take of Conor McGregor never returning to the UFC. Like I said, I laid out all the reasons why I think Conor McGregor returning to the UFC just wouldn't benefit him or help him in any sort of way. Conor McGregor is a very smart individual when it comes to outside the UFC octagon, and I truly think that he understands that his life is doing great. He's in a position to where he's got everything that he could ever want in life. He's got all the money, he's got a nice family, he's got a nice wife, and he's got everything that he wants for himself, and I just don't think any of that would lead to a return for Conor McGregor in the UFC octagon. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fight Season MMA, and please drop a subscription down below as we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And also, while you're down there, turn on the post notifications just so you guys are always updated and alerted when I post videos daily. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys very soon with more UFC content and news.